Welcome friends. In this particular module, I wish to discuss about on-site handling and separation of municipal solid waste. We will broadly cover definition and objectives of on-site handling and storage, the factors to take into account for on-site storage, various alternatives and importance of on-site processing, and major provisions and compliance criteria as per Solid Waste Management Rules 2016 for on-site storage. As you learn the content, you will be able to state objectives and factors to consider for on-site handling, available options and importance of on-site processing, and some major provisions in Solid Waste Management Rules 2016 for on-site handling. You are well aware of these particular functional elements and the interrelationship among the various elements. In the last presentation, we discussed about this waste generation, and now we wish to discuss about this second functional element of municipal solid waste management. Let's get acquainted with some of the terms that we wish to use in this particular presentation. By this particular term on-site, we wish to speak about point of waste generation. It could be home, it could be institute, it could be commercial complex, or any such place where the municipal solid waste is getting generated. With this on-site handling and separation, we wish to discuss about the activities associated with handling of the solid waste until they are placed in the containers used for storage at the point of generation only. Hence, this particular activity involves the individual family member. It may involve members of housing society, actual user of the facility, and all similar who generate the waste and hence who has ethical responsibility of appropriate handling of the waste at the particular source. As we refer to 2016 rules, it has considered this particular term very broadly. So according to rules, it instructs us to include all activities related to sorting, segregation, material recovery, collection, secondary storage, shredding, baling, etc. As we are restricting our definition and also the relevant discussion as a part of second functional element for effective solid waste management, we will have that particular scope restricted, and hence this handling for our discussion can be taken as separation of the components of waste according to their identification, say for example garbage, trash, type, say for example organic, inorganic, inert, size, and say characteristics. The objectives of this particular activity are to be considered as mentioned here. Firstly, this particular activity will create easiness to deal with in most appropriate way for the subsequent action that we wish to take for its management. Say for example, for a given waste stream, we have identified the component of municipal solid waste as food waste. So we wish to have that particular separated for composting operation. So in order to facilitate that composting operation, what are the things that we wish to have will be done under this particular handling activity. As a second objective, we wish to protect the material for its reuse and recovery of material as well as energy. Say for example, here we wish to separate the paper from garbage because we wish to have that particular paper recycled. As it gets mixed with the garbage, it will unnecessarily be smeared with the oil-like content, certain food particles, and hence it will lose its entity as paper. With a similar concept, say for example, we wish to prevent the wood from getting the wet. We wish to prevent the glass bottle from the waste stream from its breaking, because if it is clean, if it is washed properly, it can be subjected to reuse directly. So I hope the meaning associated with the term handling that we are using with certain context as far as this particular discussion is clear to you. So here this on-site storage means the temporary collection of the solid waste at the point of generation. It will cover the activities associated with the storage of the solid waste until they are passed to the community bin or containers that are used for storage so as to facilitate its collection by designated waste collectors subsequently. This particular activity has to be borne by the individual generator, as the effects associated with these ill-maintained or the heaps of this particular waste will be causing some nuisance such as flies, that spreading of foul smell, and some such effects associated with the health hazards. Hence, this on-site storage activity can be considered in line with various factors such as type of containers, container locations, health hazards, and aesthetics. So the first point is type of containers. Here these particular containers may depend on the type of source. Say for example, if you are dealing with this particular say residential activity, the container could be having certain small size. It could also be small refuse or garbage bag it is called. It could be having say capacity of this particular 7 to 10 liters. Whereas if you are considering certain say commercial premises, The containers could be attaining certain, say, different color codings, even their particular numbers, even their particular capacity. For institutions, their mountings could be different. The industrial aspects could be different. Also, the type of container will be varying according to the type of solid waste that we wish to collect. So the way you see here, for plastic, for glass, for metal, as we wish to have that particular component separated, so we can go for that kind of a containers. Some containers could be required according to the transportation facilities that are available. Some may also go with the ambience. So, such containers could be as small as, say, 5 to 10 liters. Even it could be as big as 80 to 100 liters. As such, these containers are available in many sizes. That could be of plastic, that could be of metal. At all the places, depending on the sources and kind of the waste to be handled and the accessibility we have, it should be designed for its easy handling. Mostly they are provided with covers, they are provided with these particular lids. Especially whenever we consider some squatter houses, slums, big complexes comprising various residential flats, apartment buildings. So under such circumstances, sometimes each individual may not have direct access to the community. So under such circumstances, some large storage container will be made available for that community, wherein that particular waste will be dumped, and as it is filled, some trailer-like vehicle will pick up and that container will be hauled at its destination. Hence, depending on the available situation, the accessibility, and hence the type of container may change. In addition, though not the technical requirement, but as we go with the environmental engineering practices, some social need could also be required in order to think of. So the way you see here, there could be some people who may be physically challenged. There could be senior citizens. So the kind of the container that we wish to use, it should also be designed in such a manner that they will be easily access, handle, and hence use it. There could be some posh restaurants, some star facilities, even the portion of our homes wherein we wish to have certain ambience. So in addition to that particular hygienic requirements, there could be some such requirement like the compatibility with the ambience. If we consider certain, say, homely activities, some small containers could be required to be placed at kitchen as a part of kitchen trolley. Some small containers could be required in order to mount it, in order to collect, say, some sanitary waste in sanitary annexes. As such, the sanitary aspects could also be one of the considerations wherein these kind of the containers are required to be mounted on the vertical surface. The second point that we wish to consider is this location of the container. So you know the waste collection systems. It could be side or rear houses. It could be alley type. There could be certain high-rise buildings wherein there would be provision of these particular central chutes, and hence certain automated system in order to have that particular waste separated. There could be certain smart systems which are equipped with some electronic sensors giving the signal regarding its smart usage. Also, there could be certain, say, systems in which these particular beans and containers are provided with certain underground facilities wherein simply its mouth will be protruding above the ground level, or even it could be flushed with the pavement that is available. And each of such container locations could also be changing according to the collection frequency, space available for the placement of these particular containers, the cost associated with the labor, time, as well as the collection. Whatever be the kind of this particular container location, we have to have that standardized so as to facilitate the next operation, that is collection. These containers and their locations are also associated with the health hazards. So, the waste that are dumped indiscriminately provide the food and environment for thriving population of vermins, which are agent for various diseases. It creates the exposure to the person who is subsequently handling to some poisonous content. Pest, pollution, litter, and injury are associated with the way that waste is dumped. As some of the things listed here, this housefly may transmit typhoid and similar diseases. As we consider this particular housefly, it is characterized that it could travel over the range of 10 kilometers. That means its potential to have that particular disease spread is relatively high. These mosquitoes may transmit diseases like malaria. Roaches cause the infection by physical contact and can transmit the typhoid, cholera, and such diseases. The rodents are responsible for the plague and the diseases that have been listed here. In addition to these, there could be consideration with the dogs, cats, pigs, which also act as carrier of diseases. For example, if we think of these particular pigs, they are involved in the spread of the diseases like trichinosis and even this toxoplasmosis. The major danger associated with the stray dogs is as they survive on such kind of the waste, they create the nuisance for aged people the travelers traveling by the site, the childs could be attacked because of such stray dogs. Also, the workers who are handling that type of waste are at risk of accidents related with the nature of the material and lack of safety precautions. One of the important factors as far as on-site handling is aesthetics. As we discussed previously, according to the present situation, the generation is highly increased. Waste dumpings are ill managed and indiscriminate. They pose the grave challenges to the local environmental engineers as well as designers, also the urban local bodies. This needs to be shielded from the public view as it is interfering with the aesthetical sensibility and hence causing the visual pollution. As contrast to this, as we consider the various smart systems and certain, say, developed regions which are associated with the waste handling in specific manner, here the facility is quite pleasing to the eye. The containers are very clean and approachable. There is a significant association between the improved environmental affordance, which is derived from this particular aesthetics, and also the elevation of the negative user responses. As we discuss about this particular on-site processing, we have different options like the way you see here. There are different bins meant for the separation of waste on site. Hence, the sorting can be easily done. Even as we consider certain big complexes, in order to reduce the volume, there could be placement of some such hoppers and shredders where the waste will be shredded down according to its categories and it will be further compacted through these particular baler-like machineries. Even there could be some facilities on site such as these organic waste composters. As such on-site processing facilities are made available for the group of the users, the activity will facilitate the reduction in value, alteration in physical form. It will also assist the material recovery. As there are number of options for various users, according to the requirement, one may evaluate these on-site processings based on their capabilities, reliability, associated environmental effects, ease of operation, and even the associated cost. As we consider the Solid Waste Management Rules 2016 for on-site storage, it tells about the compliance criteria. According to it, the littering and open burning is strictly prohibited. It expects creation of this particular public awareness for reduction, reusing, processing the waste. Also, how the waste separated as biodegradables, non-biodegradables, and hazardous waste. It encourages the waste speakers to take away this particular segregated recyclable material which is stored on site. As we consider certain sanitary waste like napkins, pads, tampons, diapers, condoms, menstrual cups, and similar things, they are expected to be neatly wrapped and segregated before putting it in the domestic bin, which is meant for non biodegradable waste. Some hazardous waste could be paint drums, pesticide cans, fluorescent lamps are expected to be stored separately. There could be small content of construction and demolition waste which needs to be stored and handled separately. It also gives the mandate to the citizens to store the segregated waste at source in separate domestic or trade bins and hand over such kind of the waste separately to designated waste collectors for its reuse, recycling and processing, and also the disposal of the solid waste. As we speak about some major provisions, it has mandated the segregation of the waste to channelize to the waste by recycling, recovering and reusing. It is expected to have the waste divided into three basic streams as biodegradables, non-biodegradables as dry waste and hazardous waste. It dictates specially about the institutional generators, market associations, event organizers and hotels and restaurants to bear the responsibility of the segregation of the waste at the point of generation with a partnership with the representative of urban local body. Even there could be small gatherings which could be attracting the 100% at any licensed or unlicensed place. The event manager is expected to ensure the segregation of the waste at source and handing over that segregated waste to the agency which is working on behalf of that urban local body. Also, these hotels and restaurants are required to segregate this particular biodegradable waste and to go for some facility like composting as well as anaerobic generation, digestion in order to have the biogas generated. The rules also mandate all the resident welfare as well as market associations and such complexes which are having their footprint area above 5,000 square meter to have the segregation facility on their own, and this particular waste segregated form is to be handed over to authorized waste pickers who are acting as representative of urban local body. So I hope the scope of on-site handling and storage is clear to you. Thanks for your attention. So, as we move ahead, I'll speak in my next presentation for collection of municipal solid waste. So, bye till then. I wish you very happy learning. Thank you.